Welcome everyone to Mexico City in the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Championships. We are in Mexico City in the Zocalo, which is the main square, as we get ready for competition this afternoon in compound mixed team for bronze and gold, as well as individual matches in compound women's bronze, compound women gold, compound men bronze, and compound men gold. It's an exciting afternoon here on Saturday, Compound Saturday, straight from Mexico City. Mexico City in Mexico, one of the largest cities in the world, boasting nearly 22 million people in the metropolitan area. This spectacular venue played host to the 2015 World Cup Finals. It was such a tremendous success that World Archery decided to return for this bi-yearly world event. It's time to crown world champions. Well, welcome everyone. I'm Greg White. Sitting alongside me is five-time U.S. national champ, 2016 World Feed champion, 2017 Reading Classic champion, and ranked 5th in the world, Steve Anderson. Steve, welcome to the booth, man. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me, Greg. It's always good to be here.
Absolutely, and we are set for a spectacular day of archery in the Zocalo. Here's a look at what's coming up and the estimated times of when we're going to do it. You see the mixed team gold and bronze medal matches. Now, Steve, how do we get the two shooters for the mixed teams per country?
Well, generally countries select their teams here at the event, and it's often picked off of who had the highest qualification score between their men's and women's teams. Occasionally a country will have pre-selected a team based off some other criteria, but for us personally in the U.S., if you're the #1 man in qualification for the U.S. team, then you're the mixed team selection, and same for the women.
Here's a look at the bracketing format and how it came to be. You can see there in the finals, Italy and the Netherlands will be competing. That will be our first match of this afternoon on a spectacular day here in Mexico City. The sun is given away. Time to bring the athletes out for the compound mixed team bronze medal match. And coming up on stage, we have a talented group of archers from Italy. Irene Franchitti, and her teammate for this event will be the veteran Sergio Panyee. Franchitti, 36 years old, ranked 55th in the world, has an arrow average in this event of 9.5, nearly 9.6. And that bests her average over her career by a couple tenths. A wave to the crowd. As for Sergio Panyee, already been on this stage today. Panyee, 38 years old, ranked 12th in the world. He shot a best qualifying score of 714. Now from the Netherlands, coming up on stage is Sondelat. She comes to us as an experienced shooter as well. Her teammate is going to be Mike Schlosser, who, Steve, I have to say that Mike, who, of course, we all know ranks so highly in the world, bit of a disappointment on the individuals, ranked 2nd in the world, 23 years old. Best tournament score he's ever shot, a 717 out of 720.
Yeah, and Mike didn't have the result he wanted here individually, lost out to his teammate, Peter Elzinga. I'm sure he's hoping to have some success here and close out the tournament, close out the outdoor season.
So for the Lots, 18th in the world, 22 years old. Italian coach, been around for quite a while.
Yep, stepped out this morning and coming to do it again.
All right, so this is the way this tournament's going to work in mixed. You're going to have each archer shoot an arrow. So it looks like first up is going to be Italy.
Yep, so they'll each shoot a total of 8 arrows, possible score of 160. And they'll alternate shooting.
So Franchitti up first. Taking a look at her form from the distance, Steve, it doesn't look like she's got too many nerves right now.
No, she was a world field champion in 2016 and the world indoor champion in 2016 as well. So pretty experienced shooter.
This is not Sergio Panyee's first time on the stage. He shot earlier on in the day in the gold medal match against you, Steve, and I think there were a few surprise shots from Italy during that match that weren't quite on target, but Panyee seemed to have figured it out at this point. Schlosser, good release for him, looking comfortable. I had a conversation with Mike just before we got into this match, and he said that things, he couldn't find really anything, any type of rhythm, anything good until the matches on Friday, mixed teams matches. So the first flinch by the Netherlands team. The lot a little high on that one. She's going to take a couple clicks off the sight.
Yeah, and shooting on this stage earlier, it seemed that you were more likely to impact high coming from the practice field over to here. So I'm not surprised to see one go out the top and to see Franchini's first arrow at the top either.
Now the advantage, of course, that Italy has is because Panyee shot before, he can at least convey that information that he learned to Franchini as well.
Yeah, I mean, what you want to do over on the practice field is get sighted in for a good low X, maybe a dead center X, depending on your tendencies. Then you come over here, and at worst, you're going to be top of the 10, which she was, or even hanging top of the X.
That's a liner right there. So perfect 40 to start off. Now it's on Mikey. Always has that relaxed, just I'm here chilling style. Nice solid shot.
Yeah, and it's good to see Mike shooting well under the clock too.
Bring up a good point. If you're joining us for the first time here for World Archery, you'll notice that just next to the countries noted is the time on the clock. 20 seconds to shoot each of these arrows. So another flinch by Delot, so another couple of clicks maybe off that sight, going one way or the other. Yeah, see, she's grabbing it.
Yeah.
A little late to be grabbing left-right though, clicks, don't you think?
Yeah, it's got a swirling wind down here, so it's hard to know if it's, you know, you broke a good shot and it just went to the left, or maybe you were pushing one that way to begin.
Netherlands, 38. Let's hear a little bit about our athletes. Irene Franchini with the 2017 silver medal.
Now, Steve, when you're in these mixed team competitions, how important is it communication-wise to be able to have a good rapport with the person you're shooting with?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to be able to tell them what's going on, what kind of reaction you got to your shot if you're the first shooter. And when we shoot team round, I often lead off and break a shot. If you can break a good one that you know was a quality shot on execution, and then communicate the end result to them, if it's moving left, moving right, high, low, whatever, just so they understand what to work with. Or if you feel wind pick up during the middle of their shot, you can say, hey, you know, you got a little left to right coming. Maybe hold left side 10 best you can.
Netherlands and Mike Schlosser will start off now that they're down by 2 points. Great shot. Exactly the spot you want it. Now we'll see if Delotz can get off a 10. Looks like she's using a thumb release aid.
Still searching for one, but she's surrounding it. She'll find it. Tough to give up 3 to Italy right off the bat, though. They're too strong of a team to do that.
Now, Irene Franchini. Look at a really solid hold from her. Doesn't look like she's got any nerves whatsoever.
No, she's a very experienced shooter. A mixed team bronze medal match isn't going to rattle her cage.
For you, does shooting for bronze take a little bit of the edge off of it? You know what I mean? Like,
as a team, yeah, it does. You want to make the podium. Sometimes a bronze match can be the worst, 9 by Sergio, because you want to find yourself on the podium, and you're either there with the bronze or you can go home with nothing. And I guess there is that component to it, but generally the bronze match is a little more relaxed.
Great shot by Mike. Now, one of the things I just noticed, Steve, is that Sergio was walking on that platform while Mike was at full draw. How was it for you with the stability of the platform, and can you feel people walking around, or was it good?
Didn't feel a thing. It was a really solid platform. We've shot on some that aren't, And you know, we've shot on some where you tell your teammates don't even breathe while I'm at full draw. But this one's great. This is a great shooting venue. Couldn't ask for anything better. Extremely bright out there, although, you know, as you were alluding to earlier, sun is kind of hidden behind some clouds or smog a little bit, but it was a very bright shooting stage for us.
So the door open for Italy to try to get some points back as Sergio is going to knock up his arrow. You saw moments ago, Delot shot another 9, but shot it low. So literally north, south, east, west.
Yeah, she's surrounded it. You see. Low 10. Sergio's hanging low too.
So 2 points now the advantage. Now, here you are in the finals field. You have Falco Eye, you have people, you know, pulling your arrows for you, marking your arrows. I just saw Sergio pull out some binoculars. What does that do for you to actually have a look? Even though you have TV screens that show you close-up shots. I mean, is it just a habit, or, you know, what do you think?
Yeah, probably a habit. You know, we'll take a peek through the coach's spotting scope, even in the middle of the end. You know, say, hey, let me have a look at that real quick and see where something impacted, just so you know exactly. You look at the TV, and depending on the glare on it, you can't always tell the exact location of that arrow. So it's good to have a peek and know where you're at.
First of our 6 matches this afternoon for Compound Saturday here at World Archery. It's the Mexico City 2017 Hyundai Archery World Championships. And we're in the bronze medal match in compound mixed team between Italy and the Netherlands. Netherlands start off as they're behind 76 points to 78 to Italy. Number 2 in the world, Mike Schlosser, sighting up. Nice release. He's just pounding it there.
Yeah, Mike has found the X-ring. I think this is our moment for Sana.
Sana Delot's. Now it's time to get that 10.
She didn't love it. She didn't love it.
Yeah. And that shows in the score an 8.
You know, we got a swirling wind, and it's picking up on occasion. It's hard to tell. We've got 2 flags on the field, one on the left, one on the right, and they're literally going opposite directions. They'll split and go one way or the other.
Franchitti low left or 9.
Yeah,
and yeah, you know, just to give you an idea, when you're looking at the shooter, if you look at Sergio Panyee as he stands down towards the targets, they're a little bit further than halfway down those windsocks on either side. So really within good viewing, as you can, if the archer chooses to lift their eyes up and just take a look at that sock, they're going to get a good view of it. You know, with Sergio, sometimes you just can't tell with his facial expression what that shot's going to be. I mean, when he released it for a moment, you thought, boom, right in the middle.
Yeah, they call him the Sultan of Smooth. And he is a very smooth shooter, but and I think that's part of his game plan, and it's mine as well. You go out there and you try to be a little bit expressionless. You know, I think that if you're too high or too low, you can struggle with some energy, so you try to maintain an even keel from shot to shot.
You can see too in Sona's scope, you saw the bubble, you know, being off a little bit. How important is it when you look at a scope and you have that level, that bubble level, that it needs to be dead center?
You could get away with murder on the bubble here on flat ground. It'll change a little bit your horizontal impact, but it's not as critical as in, say, field archery, aiming up and down hills.
Oh yeah.
So as long as you're not, you know, pulling a full half bubble or more outside of the line, then you're okay. But Sana just seems to be searching right now, and when you don't find that rhythm early, it can be hard to shoot 10s.
Absolutely.
She's got 3 close ones for Italy. Well, one looks like the 8 is for sure in, but 2 9 asterisks for him down there.
2 9 asterisks, an 8 asterisk, and an X. So right now it looks like a 36 for them. But for the Netherlands, X8, X8. So really Italy kind of opened the door for the Netherlands to try to claw some points back in this match.
Yeah, I think Italy will end up with a 37 here.
Yeah.
And Netherlands for sure going to stick at 36. And
yeah, I like what Mike and Sona did there. You know, team camaraderie, a little high five. You know, just Mike letting Sona know, hey, listen, just keep shooting.
Yeah, she's not feeling good right now. You never do if you put them in the red ring. It can be a bit demoralizing. She hasn't found the 10 ring. It's just hard, and it gets harder as it goes on. And you think you know, everybody's watching and they're really intent on what you're doing, and really it's not the case. Oftentimes you need to just remember that this will be forgotten if you have a bad day, so don't be afraid to have one. It happens from time to time.
Well, 2 more arrows for her to just let it fly. See if Sona Talat can end the outdoor season with a couple of 10s. Look at Mike Schlosser and his process that he uses to execute his shots.
Yeah.
Nice.
Another good one for Mike. I mean,
just looks comfortable.
Yeah,
doesn't
just
he?
that. And when Mike's comfortable in the finals, watch out. You know, just the one arrow close to the 10 line. The rest of them have been X's or darn close to it.
Good shot in the middle, just a little low again. You can see that frustration on Sona Talat's face. It's that downward spiral, you know.
And it happens, and you can't let it creep into your next appearance on the final stage.
Yeah. Franchitti.
Yeah.
Very casual.
Looked very smooth.
Great shot. Here. Irene Franchitti. Now Sergio Panyee. To get us to the halfway point of the final end of this match, 126-131, the Netherlands lead. Wow. Real close to that spider. As Panyee delivers the 10 that his team needs to stay in this one.
Yeah, Sergio's a new father. I'm sure he's ready to have the season over with, get home to his baby girl as well.
Mikey delivers again. Boy, I bet he wished he had this on Monday.
Yeah.
And Tuesday.
Yeah.
But a good way to finish off for Mike Schlosser. And now, Sona Talat.
Yes.
Yes. Like you were just really hoping for Sona.
Yeah.
She needed that 10.
Yeah.
Look at that smirk. The crowd responds.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. A very educated crowd here at World Archery.
It happens. And I've been there, you know, in the moment you think, I am the worst archer in the world. And it's not the case. You're here on the stage for a reason because you're pretty darn good. So she's got to just forget about it and get on the stage again and try to improve.
A 6 to win for Italy. As Panyee looks to have this thing pretty much in the bag. And he wants to finish off in fine style with a 10, and he does. So the win goes to Italy. A 156 to 151. And a good match, and hopefully Sona Talat doesn't really linger on this one too long.
No.
Gotta let this one go, don't you?
It's an 8-centimeter 10 ring, 50 meters away.
Yeah.
It can be elusive at times, so whatever.
For anybody out there watching World Archery for the first time, Steve just talked about it. The target is 50 meters downrange, 55 yards, just a little short if you're from the States. And the that 10 ring is 8 centimeters, or about 3.1 inches. Just to give you perspective, it's somewhere close to the diameter of a baseball. Pretty close. I did my research. Pretty close.
Or a tennis ball for those who don't play baseball.
Right, but definitely not a softball.
No.
That would be a delight.
Yeah.
That would be unfair for a lot of people. There'd be a lot more 700s being shot. So good weather here in Mexico City. As a good look from our World Archery slow-mo cam, you can see the vibrations that these bows create. And Steve, if someone's watching for the first time and you're watching these scopes and these sights and these strings vibrate, what causes that?
Well, it's just a reverberation of the energy going through them, and there is some pliability to the strings, so they're not 100% rigid. And as the tension moves from the load system into the strings, then it just moves it back and forth a bunch. And if you watch one in full speed, you never see it.
That's the crazy
snap
thing,
and
isn't
it's
it?
done.
Yeah.
If you watch it in slow-mo, it moves back and forth 20 times before it stops.
It's amazing how well all this equipment holds up, though, isn't it?
Right, yeah. I mean, these bows can go hundreds of thousands of shots, if not into the millions. The other amazing thing is the camera equipment we're working with here.
Now it's time for the compound mixed teams gold medal match between Germany and Korea. And coming up on stage is a shooter who's been here earlier on today, Christina Hauser. And her teammate will be Marcel Traxel. So Hauser ranks at 48th in the world, 29 years old. Hasn't had the best tournament for her, you would think, judging from her arrow average in terms of individuals, but she's really poured it on in team competition. Usually she averages about 9.4 an arrow. This match, 8.9. As for her teammate Marcel, he's coming in at a higher than normal average, 9.6 for this tournament. And now the Korean team. On the Korean side, you have Sung-Yun-Soo, and Kim Jong-Ho. So a good pairing here, a very strong team for this gold medal match on both sides. Sung-Yun-Soo, 21 years old, ranked 7th in the world, and right at her arrow average, 9.5 arrow average. The best round she's ever shot in our qualification round, which is 72 arrows, 720 points, a 699. As for Kim Jong-Ho, pretty stout, 9.7, ranked 13 in the world, but 23 years old. This archer's really starting to come on here in compound.
Yeah, he's had some good tournament results this year. Thought he was going to make it a little further individually here at this competition, and just didn't pan out for him. Lost to Sebastien Pino, who will be in the gold medal final as an individual, but they shot strong in the mixed teams, and here they are competing for gold.
Korea's ranking in mixed team competition, #1 in the world, #2 in this competition. Going up against Germany, who finds himself in the gold medal match, ranked 9th today, 20th in the world. Sung-Yun-Soo, with a 9 to start off with.
Yep,
little
just
conversation
off there.
with the coach. Yep.
Coach called a 10. I don't think he got a good look at it. Then the 9 went up on the board, and she kind of gave him the what's that.
Kim Jong-Ho. Nice shot. So Kim Jong-Ho, he's competed in 56 matches in World Archery. He's won 40 of them, 71% of his matches. He's a competitor. Marcel Traxel. Good shot.
Good 10, just on the left side of the X.
Now Christina Hauser. Nice. Hey, does that help, Steve? When you have a good arrow in the 10, is it something that you can see and you use to aim, or is it just something that we as commentators say?
It's hard to see one arrow.
Is it?
So yeah, if you get a group of them down there, yes, but they're not throwing a group down there, so it's not really a helpful thing in this case. Pretty cool shot off the sunglasses there.
Yeah, Sung-Yun-Soo, there it is. So from a 9 to a 10 for Song. Now here's Kim Jong-Ho.
Very good 10.
Nice shot. Do you see anything, Steve, with the form that you've seen from Korean archers in recurve that translates to compound that might be different from how, say, shooters in the U.S. or maybe even European countries shoot?
Yeah, they take a bit wider of a stance. I take a kind of a comfortable shoulder width stance, like I'm going to try to stand all day. And they kind of split a little wider. Maybe they feel like it's more stability, but I think that's a very individualized thing, and do what you think is best for yourself.
Good shot by Christina Hauser after a 9 from her teammate.
Christina, 2013 world champion individually in Belek Belek, Turkey. Super windy tournament there. Unbelievably windy, and she came out on top. And then recently beat cancer.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Her first tournament back, is that right?
I think this is her second.
Second back, yeah. Yeah, incredible. Having a great go at it. Yeah, that when she won that World Archery Championship back in Belek in 2013 October, you know, it can be kind of windy.
It was 30 miles an hour plus.
Wow.
During the rounds, it was they instituted some special rules for it, just for safety's sake. And I was there working. I was happy to not be there shooting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Working.
I was working on behalf of Hoyt Archery there.
I see.
Yeah, doing a repair booth.
But that was fun. So right now we're all tied up, 39 apiece. As that first end we saw from Germany, X10, 9-10. From Korea, 9X, 10X. So we'll see if that's the sign of things to come for Korea as they start to find a rhythm. It's been crazy, just different wind that we've been feeling in our commentary position and watching those two windsocks bounce around. And while they were pulling arrows, the wind seemed to pick up, and then all of a sudden it just calmed down.
Yeah, and I think what we get up here is significantly different from what they feel down there. It's really hard to gauge, and in this stadium, I think the best thing you want to do is try to hold middle. Don't try to favor one side or the other, because it could be doing two different directions before the arrow gets to the target.
Kim Jong-Ho. Look at the release. When he shot that bow and released it, you could see that there's some type of recurve influence. It's the forward motion with the wrist and letting that bow just jump out of the hand. Yeah, they kind of have that roll of the bow. A lot of what I would call full-time compound archers, they don't roll the bow forward. A lot of times they just let it drop. By the time the arrow's fired, you can't drop your arm fast enough to make a difference as long as you fire it first. Good solid 10 for Marcel Trexel. Oh, look at that shot. Christina Heigen Hauser now really in a rhythm.
Yeah, Christina was a former pistol shooter. She shoots she commands the release, meaning she's punching the button. You know, she's not pulling with back tension and having the surprise shot. It's not her style. And frankly, I don't see an issue with it. She shot pretty darn well how she does it and has a world championship under her belt. So.
As Kim Jong-Ho goes to full draw, and he'll set into his anchor point.
Yeah, you'll see a good pull on the release here.
Good shot in the 10 ring. So Song Yu-Soo dropped another point. This is an opportunity for Germany to take the lead with 2 10s or 2 X's, same value. Good shot.
Good 10 on the right side there.
Yep. A good look at that hand that Steve was talking about. Watch her activate that trigger with her thumb.
So you'll notice her hand doesn't really recoil backwards like a lot of shooters who use what we'd call back tension style.
She's just in the shot, relaxed in the shot, and then just activates.
Right. Yep. And for those of you who may not be super familiar with this, when we talk about the release, we're talking about the component in their hand that they actually use to fire the bow. And there's a few different styles. Christina there in that last shot had a thumb trigger, so her thumb pushes the button, and the button opens up the hook and sends the arrow on its way. Some of the other styles are hinge release, which are operated by rotation. So as the handle is rotated a certain amount, the hook clears what we call the moon piece inside and opens up, and you fire the arrow. So different ways of doing it. I mean, there's other release aid styles as well. These are the 2 most common, but it all kind of depends on how your brain works, how you're wired, and how you're feeling that day for some people. Some people change release aids day by day.
That's pretty astonishing to me. Watching people, I just decided to switch to back tension. I'm on a button. I mean, the idea, you know, as my experience goes with archery, is that you want to have that button activate as a back tension, meaning
Correct.
like you want to have that same type of rhythm. So if you're doing it properly, just kind of gives you the, you know, just a different feeling. Maybe mix your brain up a little bit.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people with a thumb button, they're not actually pushing the button; they're pulling through it, And
if you do it right.
eventually there's enough tension on it
Look at that shot.
to fire it.
Great way to forget the last 9 shot by Song Yun-soo from Korea.
Coach was excited.
Yeah.
Getting some positive energy there.
Now Kim looking through the peep sight. That peep sight you're looking into, that's on the string. You set it, line it up with your scope. There's different ways, different ideas I think people like to use it. For me personally, Steve, I like to have the outside edge of my scope just in a line with the peep sight itself.
Yeah, and you can change scope or peep size to fit that, and there's other factors involved there. You can use a piece inside the peep called a clarifier to clear up the image of the target if you're seeing some blur there. There's a lot of different things to it, and we won't get too far into the weeds, but it's another component of the equipment of a compound bow.
Yeah, beautiful shot by Christina. Another 10 for her as her teammate opened up with a 9. So now Korea with a 1-point lead.
Sun's starting to creep out again. Get real bright out there.
Now, can that mess around with your aperture, the way you look through the peep sight? Can that mess with that?
It can. There's a tough 8 there for Korea. Yeah, the changing lighting conditions can affect your point of impact just based on how light is refracting through your scope and through your peep.
What do you think? Looks like it caught the line to me. So that 8 right now, a huge miscue for the Korean team.
Quick shot there.
Quick shot.
Very quick.
Like you could see on the release hand,
Yeah.
it just looked, something looked funky.
He kind of muttered something, probably, oops.
Oops in German.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christina. Heigen Hauser. Oof. Drops that one low. So really the door was open up for Germany and they just couldn't close it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking they're actually going to be trailing by 1. I do believe Korea will get that last arrow.
Yeah, so right now showing 115 on the score, but a 9 with an asterisk. Any score with an asterisk next to it, as you see, is a question mark. So the officials will actually go, look, put eyes on it, and they will get the official score here in a moment. It'll translate right back to World Archery headquarters, just behind this range. We'll have that information momentarily. Another great slow motion shot. And you can see on that sight, you got a couple of little rubber bumpers there, and that's actually to try to help out with that vibration.
10-8.
So they did give him a 10 in lieu of that 9. So Korea will carry a 1-point lead into the final end.
The crowd knows what's going on as tension mounts here in the Zocalo, the square in Mexico City. One of the largest in the world. 195 meters by 240 meters. And we have our venue set dead smack in the middle of it. Off in the distance in front of these archers, you see the Metropolitan Cathedral. It took 250 years to complete that cathedral here in Mexico City. So it's 115 to 116 favoring Korea. Germany starts. Marcel with another quick shot.
Big 8 out the left, yeah.
Out the left-hand side. It's been said before that when the pressure's on for the German shooter Marcel, that occasionally he can start throwing them out the left side. Can Christina keep them in the match? Oof.
9. Yeah, they needed some 10s there to put the pressure on Korea.
Once again, this is the bronze medal match for, sorry, the gold medal match for compound mixed team. So guaranteed a medal for both of these teams heading into it. But you want to always be standing on top of that podium. So 8-9 by Germany is answered by a 10 by Song Yun-soo. Now Kim Jong-Ho. And you can notice that much wider stance than some traditional archers take. Good solid shot.
Yeah, he's taking a stance probably as wide or wider than me, and I'm significantly bigger than him. So it's a little further outside the shoulders, just kind of how they do things. And like I said, do what you're accustomed to.
And that's it. So Marcel again, another quick shot.
Another 8 out the left. Yeah.
On the left-hand side. So plenty of time on the clock. So Christina once again with the final arrow for Germany of this one, and she'll shoot a 9. So 149 for the team destined at this point, I think, for silver.
Right. Yeah, if you're Korea right now, you're just reminding each other to shoot the right target. There is a, you know, if you shoot too many arrows into one target, one doesn't count.
It's a 0. And a good shot, well executed by Song-Yeon-soo, knowing what's on the line. And now all Kim Jong-Ho has to do is just hit the target. Well, the scoring target rings.
Yeah, hit the paper.
Yeah. 9 seconds remain on the clock. Good shot, way to finish a match off. And that's the way you win gold in mixed team competition. A commanding performance by Korea. Out of a possible 40 points, 39, 39, 38, and then a perfect 40.
Yeah, no missed arrows by Kim Jong-Ho. 10s across the board for him, a really well shot match.
Great job by Korea.
World Archery Champions 2017 for mixed team, the gold medalist.
One thing I love about when these matches finish, Steve, is the sportsmanship that's always displayed in front of this huge crowd. You know, is that something that's even spoken about, or is that just something that naturally occurs?
I think it just kind of naturally occurs. You respect your competitors. They've made it there, and that's tough to do. And win or lose, give them some props for it.
Excitement from the Korean team as Song-Yeon-soo and Kim Jong-Ho will take the gold medal, and Korea will hold on to that #1 spot in the world rankings for mixed team compound competition. So quite an exciting match as Korea wins 156 to 149. And earlier on in the day, Steve, Lucy O'Sullivan was here. She joined me and we talked about just the atmosphere here and the way that this finals field is set up, and thought that it really lends itself to a disparity in scores, that we wouldn't see close victories, more either shoot-offs or blowouts, and that's what we're seeing here today.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get some tight matches coming up. And Christina Hauser is going to get a chance here again to step up on the field.
Yeah, she's been shooting well, so compound women's coming up.
It is an interesting field. The crowd is in pretty tight. I know they can hear a lot of what we were saying down on the stage.
Oh, is that right? Just like the communication for the team.
Right, and oftentimes they're not quite that close, so it's an interesting setup here.
Now it's time for the women's compound bronze medal match as we get into the individual competition finals here at the Mexico City 2007 Hyundai World Archery Championship. And first coming to the stage is Christina Hauser. We just saw her shoot, so she's about as warmed up as you could possibly be.
Right, yeah, I don't even know if she would have stepped back and fired a few practice arrows or just got back in the tunnel and got ready to come out again.
Target number 2 is going to be Sarah Sonicson from Denmark. And Sarah had her way into this competition. She knocked off Toya Ellison in the quarter finals. And then getting into this bronze medal match, it was Song-Yeon-soo, who we just saw shoot, who was able to defeat her to knock her to the bronze medal competition. All right, Steve, so contrary to what we saw in mixed teams competition, give us the format of how we shoot individual matches.
So an individual match on the compound side is 15 arrows. They're going to shoot an end of 3. An end is basically a round. So they're going to shoot 5 ends of 3 arrows, 150 points possible, and a high score takes it.
If we have a tie, we go to a 1 arrow shoot off, and that 1 arrow shoot off is determined by closest to the middle. Just coming off of her match literally moments ago. First up, Christina Heigen.
High 9.
High 9 for her, which was actually the tendency she started shooting right at the end of that match. And here's Supersonic Sarah Sonicson. She starts off with a nice solid 10.
Yep. And both these archers shoot that command style that we had talked about earlier, where they're telling the release when to go. They're not waiting on any surprise shot. So it can be, when you're shooting that well, you can really get on a roll and just keep putting them in the 10, but when it goes bad, it often goes very bad.
Another great shot from Sarah Sonicson. Also looking at her style, Steve. Look at Christina and how she has an extended arm. Almost looks like the elbow is getting close to lock as she now comes back with a 10. Sarah has a nice bend in her elbow. Is that just a style preference, maybe the way you learned?
Yeah, just preference. I like to go arm extended, bone on bone. I think it's the most stable, but everybody does it their own way. Not going to argue with Sonicson's style. She's #1 in the world.
She certainly is. So a 10-10-9 for Sarah Sonicson.
And you'll notice how fast these two are shooting.
Yeah.
That can be, when you have 20 seconds per shot. So as soon as you fire your arrow, your opponent's clock starts. And as fast as these two girls shoot, they got to load an arrow and be ready to go on the next one.
Sonicson in Rome, Hyundai Archery World Cup final, won that in September. Won Berlin in August, Antalya in June. I mean, just the wins have just been piling up for the 22-year-old. A lot of medals hanging up on the wall for Sarah Sonicson. Hauser, as we talked about, Steve, you mentioned coming back from cancer, her second tournament back. Now lines up for the shot. 28-29 and a solid 10 for the German. I noticed that after watching Sarah most of the year, it seems like she's maybe been working on that release.
Yeah,
Didn't seem as punchy. Oof.
She's doing a little, is that an 8 or a 9?
It looked like an 8 to me, but 8-9 liner. We'll see. They're calling it a 9. We'll have to see when they.
Yeah, she's doing a little better job of getting the thumb around the barrel before she sends it away. There was times in the past it was all one motion to wrap around the barrel and punch it all at the same time.
Yeah, you would actually see daylight between her thumb and the barrel, and then just the contact.
She'd just grab it,
Yeah, so it looks like she's been hard at work. You can see getting that thumb activated onto that barrel. A little stutter. Interesting.
Yeah, put it in the 10.
Works for her, it works for her. It's all that matters. And there's no debating #1 in the world, Sarah Sonicson. 10-10-10, perfect score, a perfect 30. Now, Steve, when you get to this level, this competition, one of the interesting things that we've seen in the past is elimination rounds, when you're on the field and you're going through the field, when you get here, scores tend to be a little bit lower.
Target #2.
Yeah, I mean, there's
10-10-10.
a lot of pressure on the line, and on the field, you're not shooting under a 20-second clock, so there's no rush. If you have a bad shot going, you can let it down, start over. That'll save you some points here and there, whereas out here, that isn't an option. You got to get it off, and sometimes that means it's not going to be as much as you wanted, but try to limit the damage in that scenario. And just the pressure of the moment, you know, everybody's watching and you're shooting for something now, so it makes a difference.
So when you're doing elimination rounds, before we get to this point, if you're trying to get to this point, is it a 2-minute clock or is it?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you're on a 2-minute clock for 3 arrows.
So they throw a lot at you, World Archery does. When you get to this level and you're shooting for a bronze, silver, or gold medal, there's a lot of things that end up being a little bit different, huh? The clock,
Correct.
the atmosphere, shooting from a stage.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of shooters who are really good qualifiers. You see shooters who are good match shooters, and you see shooters who are very good in finals matches. And you see some who are good in all three, too.
Christina needed that 10. Again, cumulative scoring here. Sarah is wearing out that 10 in this match. Only 1-9 so far for Sonicson.
If you look at the clock as it counts down next to the shooters' names, I mean, they're rarely getting to 14 seconds. So they're firing these arrows in 5-6 seconds. Here's one that's going 7 seconds. But these shooters are turning around pretty quick.
10-9 liner for Sonicson. Right at 14 seconds, a 9. Drop that one a little low.
I'm going to say that in the gold match, you're going to see a lot of shots being fired with 8, 9, and 10 seconds remaining on the clock. This will be a lot different.
Okay. Sonicson with a little flinch there, answering the 9 thrown by Christina Hauser. So Sarah Sonicson. We'll have to wait for the judges. There's no asterisks on those shots necessarily, but things that we look at and think, see for sure once the judges get down there.
Yeah, and when it comes to scoring, you know, we've talked about the asterisk next to the number. The arrow only has to touch the line. Doesn't have to break through it, just touch it. And oftentimes, based on how the paper breaks when the arrow goes in, it can be really hard to tell until you get up close. And even then, sometimes you need a little pocket microscope to really see what's happening at the target.
Yeah. So Christina Hauser, her score confirmed at a 29, and confirmed for Sarah Sonicson as well. So the lead remains at 2 points with 2 ends to go. And keep in mind, this is archery. Anything can happen. A 2-point lead is not a certainty of how this match is going to end, especially with the amount of arrows that we have left. What are some of the craziest things you've seen?
I would say, you know, a miss in a situation like this. Someone just flat out misses the target and gives up 10 points in a hurry.
That could definitely swing things in a different direction. So behind by 2. Christina will shoot first. Good look at that windsock. What's the wind doing? Great shot, great execution. Doing everything she needs to stay in it. High 10 for Sarah Sonicson. Looked like for a moment there, her holding arm looked like it was blown around just a smidge.
Yeah, kind of felt a little breeze come through here as well.
See the flag way up top in the background there. Totally different down here, though. It's so shielded.
Yeah, and Christina's putting the pressure on her, you know, putting 10s down. But so far, Sarah's answered them all.
Oh.
9.
And when Christina released that bow, you could see she actually just turned it over to the left. Trying to put a little English on it. That's more of a reaction, I think, from the eye, isn't it? Oh, okay, so we're going to stay at 115 to 117 heading into this final end.
Yeah, nothing gained, nothing lost, but as a compound competitor, I feel pretty good about having a 2-point lead going into the final end. You know, if you can keep them in the gold and shoot 110, it's over.
Target number 2, X109.
Well, scratch that. You need 2 10s out of that. Math is hard.
Yeah, I know, math. I was like, well, that would send you to a shoot-off, and then you got to pressure the closest arrow, but yeah, I got you. So two 10s. 2 10s for Sarah Sonicson is going to do it. But make no mistake, with a 2-point lead in this competition, heartbeats are starting to elevate. Even for bronze, who's going to be able to stand on the podium? Can Heigen Hauser rip off a perfect 30 and really put the pressure on Sarah Sonicson? We're getting ready to find out. It's the first one to shoot. Little fist pump from her coach, Mark Damsbo. Once on the line, the shooters can knock up the arrows and attach the release. Is that right, or they can't attach the release when they're
they can attach the release. They just can't lift the bow until their clock is started.
What a shot from Christina Hauser. Sarah Sonicson, 9.
Yep, getting some action now.
Here's the pressure in this final end. Oh, she does it. Christina Hauser. Another solid X. Sarah knows she gave a point away. Will it affect her? It does. Wow.
Dead heat now.
Dead heat, 135 to 135. They're saying it's a 9 asterisk, but Steve, it looked to us like it was a solid
close,
9.
yeah.
Oh, and there it is. So Christina Hauser at this point, we're going to a shoot-off no matter what, or she's going to win it.
Yep, she cannot lose.
Oh, unbelievable as Sarah Sonicson throws a 9.
Oh, all 3 out the left side.
Wow. We said it wasn't over till it's over, Steve.
No.
In a 2-point lead, you said you'd be comfortable. But now, I mean, we kind of saw what we saw, but the 9 asterisks, we're going to have to wait on it. Are we going to a shoot-off, or is it over?
Oh, it's over. I'll just be the spoiler.
Yeah,
It's,
absolutely.
yeah, they're all out, and for Christina, they're all in.
Lesson learned, folks. If you're watching, you're never out of it till you're out of it, till it's over.
No.
What an end by Christina Hauser to take bronze here in Mexico City with an XX10. And the 130 of the match for her comes in the final end. What a storybook ending to her outdoor season. Christina Hauser will stand on the podium and represent Germany with the bronze medal.
Wow.
I
We were
mean,
just talking about, you know, before the match started, there hadn't been really any barn burners, but we got one there.
we certainly did. And it's the barn only started burning the last end. That's how you,
man.
that you just got to stay in it. You got to stay in it and put the pressure on. And what a group from Sarah Sonicson. Just
yeah,
not
just
in
not.
the right
It's all
spot.
out the left. I don't know if she spun the side or not, or you know, she might have felt like, hey, just a matter of wind pushing it. I don't know, hard to say, but yeah,
It is what it is, right?
She's got you know, for one archer, it's total elation. For another, feel like a bit of defeat.
Yeah, heartbreaks on both sides, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you know, you're looking at Christina Hauser and you're thinking, 2 points disadvantage going into that final end with the world #1.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden it just turns the table. But
Well, I've said before, it's hardest to close the match than it is to come from behind.
very true. The compound women's gold medal match is upon us. We are going to have the final individual match for the women of the outdoor season for 2017. And coming to the stage already, a woman who early on in qualification rounds was dominating. Yaseem Bostan from Turkey, 22 years old, ranked 8th in the world. And you can see her average arrow. She usually averages about a 9.55. For this competition, a 9.67. So she has definitely stepped it up. And now coming to the stage, taking her position, Korean archer Song Yeon-soo. Song Yeon-soo, 21 years old, 7th in the world, and shooting right at her average for this tournament, 9.5 points per arrow. Song Yeon-soo, 68% of her matches are won in competition, and in tied competition, when there's a shoot-off, she's had 8 of those in her career, and she's won 50% of those.
Yeah, it took her one to get here as well. You know, looking at the scores between these two leading up to this match, Bostan shot considerably better along the way, but Song Yeon-soo did enough to get here, and that's really all that matters. Now it's a blank slate, and somebody's got to win and somebody's got to go home.
Bostan from Turkey will shoot first in lane #1. 80-centimeter target, 50 meters downrange. The 10 ring, 8 centimeters in diameter. Looked a little shaky.
Yeah, and she's been on a lot of final stages recently. Not surprised to see a little shake here just because we're shooting for a world championship title. But I think she'll settle down. On the line.
On the line. 10 is a 10 is a 10.
Song Yeon-soo, having just shot the compound mixed team gold, has a little experience out on the stage, a little comfortability. That's huge.
Good answer by Bostan. She gets dialed into that 10.
Yeah, you don't want to let it get out of control early.
Yeah, we've seen that happen earlier on today. Up and down in the 10 ring. Song Yeon-soo. Bostan, the quarterfinals, got rid of Choi Bo-min. And Christina Heigenhauser drops a 9 on that one. Song Yeon-soo, Sarah Priels, quarters, Sarah Sonicson to get into this gold medal match. A little sigh of relief. How important is it to get through this first end just to get it under your belt?
Get a good start. If you can put the first one in the 10, that's huge. If you're chasing, that's tough. Song Yeon-soo didn't shoot her best, I would say, in that mixed team match. She had an 8. She had a few 9s. But starting with a 30, she's got to feel really confident now.
X10-10.
2-point lead is always a good thing, although, as we just saw, and as we talked about, could be gone in a matter of a minute.
Matter of a minute. It's unbelievable. We're here at the Mexico City 2017 Hyundai Archery World Championships, the bi-annual championships that happen with World Archery. And we are watching the women compete in compound for gold for the title of World Champion.
Yep.
It's a huge resume booster, no question about it, as Mexico City has played a tremendous host to this event, as we are in Compound Saturday. We still have a whole bunch of shooting to go here and tomorrow when we get to Recurve Sunday. You've seen Bostan from Turkey trying to make up some ground that she lost on Song Yeon-soo in the first end.
She's got to get out of the left side of the target, give the side about 2-3 clicks. And if you're going to miss on the right side. Quit missing on the left side. Another 10.
Another 10. Well-executed shot. A steel-faced competitor, Song Yeon-soo.
Yeah, the Koreans have another one out the left. The Korean teams are always very well prepared for finals matches. You know, they don't just practice shooting arrows. They practice with simulation of this type of thing. There's a 9. Okay, gave her one back.
First 9, yep.
So they're simulating finals matches. They're working with psychologists and people of that nature on whatever they work on and trying to prepare themselves for these moments. There's one on the line.
All right, so creeping it back a little bit towards the right.
She moved the sight.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, she got her hand on the sight there. If you're her coach, I would imagine that's what you're recommending.
Yeah.
Song Yeon-soo. Dropped another one.
So
all right,
remains at 2.
So what could have been an extension of the lead now holds 58 to 56.
Yeah, and for Song Yeon-soo, that's an opportunity lost, and she's going to feel that way. For Yassine Boston, she's going to feel a bit relieved that she didn't give up anymore.
10, 9,
But
9.
the momentum swings a little bit in her favor after something like that.
10,
In
9,
Bostan's
9.
favor.
Yes, in Bostan's, because she didn't give up anything, and she should have.
Yeah. Well, we saw the wheels fall off of Sarah Sonicson there towards the end, and the momentum definitely shift. Christina Heigenhauser in that bronze medal match. Nothing to say that it couldn't happen here. We've seen Bostan putting on a great show in the week that we've been here. Using that thumb release, really a smooth release for her.
Yeah.
Oh, also a trigger.
Yeah, both these archers, pretty good technique.
Just off in the background is that Cathedral Church I mentioned, the Metropolitan Cathedral in front of Mexico City. 200, over 200 years to complete. It's quite a sight to behold here in the Zocalo. Here we go.
There's an arrow in the middle. Yeah.
There's an arrow in the middle.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, she just had to get the sight moved.
Yep. Long hold for Song Yeon-soo.
Yeah. Hey.
Still nails it. It's needed sometimes something.
Look at these targets. Not an arrow on the left side of the spider. Not one.
Right side.
Now, On the right side, yeah. I think Boston has one now.
No, she doesn't. You're right.
Just the one in the target.
You're right.
But everything else for both of them has been on the left side. You got to see that type of pattern and adjust to it.
I love her face when she shoots, and there is nothing going on but what she's got going on the line. Song-Yeon-Soo. Ooh. Oh, I don't know, Steve. That's a close liner right there.
It's really tough to see in the shadow. I would like to say yes, but it could, because of the shadow, we might be missing a lot of it.
Yeah, we hope yes, certainly. So we maintain that 2-point lead, but it's going to be up to the judges on this one, as Song-Yeon-Soo might have extended the lead by another point.
Song-Yeon-Soo put one on the right half of the target face there. I mean, that's critical. If you're, sometimes I will side in knowing full well my tendency is to push arrows out the left. So I'm going to side in. A perfect shot's going to be on the right side of the X ring and maybe on the high side of the X ring as well.
I see.
And that way I'm giving myself as much opportunity as possible for my less than perfect shots to still catch a 10. Right now, we're talking an 8-centimeter 10 ring, and that's the first one that's ventured over to the right half of that. They've been shooting at a 4-centimeter 10 ring, and they're still only down 2 and 3. What do we've got here? 2 points and 4 points.
Yeah. So it looks like it's confirmed as a 10.
It is
for Boston. So that's great news.
Yeah, it's a 1 point deficit. No, 2 points.
Yeah, remains at 2.
Yeah,
remains at 2. So she's holding steady. So you want to talk about a dogfight here, as both archers come out of the gate in the middle part of this match with 30s apiece, shooting perfectly. And it looks like that might be what's going to take to win gold for the compound women.
Yeah, you could see the importance of a fast start, and that was my goal as a leadoff shooter earlier in the team round. Get the first one in the 10 ring. It's good for the momentum for the team. Gets you on track. You don't want to be chasing from behind because, I mean, you've seen Boston's. She's matched her arrow for arrow, and she still got that 2-point deficit. You got to come out swinging.
Big sigh of relief from Boston. Right,
just hoping to get one back here. It's always, it's a bit defeating when they don't give it to you. You go, well, I'll do it again, I guess.
Yes, Boston. That was the one thing she did not want to see. You can see that little disappointment on her face. Now Song-Yeon-Soo. She answers little left on that one. Looking at the windsocks to see if anything's changed. But a good solid 10 for Song. Boston comes right back with a 10. But unless Song drops a point here, maybe disaster 8. Increase her advantage.
She's looking rock solid.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And this is exactly the type of shooting you want to see in a gold medal match.
Yeah, you can look at her release hand, see she's really pulling on that bow, and I think that's critical when you're under pressure. Get a lot of tension into the bowstring, pull on it as hard as you can without being, over the top. But maintain that tension and don't let it creep up, because as you start to creep in the release hand and lose tension there, that's when you really get some bad shakes. So you got your bow arm, the one holding it, driving to the target, and you're trusting it's going to always be working towards middle. I mean, it's kind of like driving a car. If you want to go straight down the road, you don't hold the wheel dead straight. You're always moving a little left, a little right. So it's the same with aiming a bow. Constantly working it back towards the middle, or doing your best to keep it there. So that's the bow arm, and then maintain that tension and build tension till the shot fires on the release side.
So here we go, the final end of the match. This is for the world title, and it's between Yaseen Bostan and Song-Yeon-Soo.
Yep, first individual world champion of 2017.
Oh, she looks calm, cool, and collected.
This is gonna be tough. I don't think she's giving anything up.
Yeah, I think that's a poker face right there.
Yeah.
There's got to be a swell of emotion right now in Song-Yeon-Soo.
She's feeling pretty comfortable behind those glasses, I'm thinking.
No doubt about it. She qualified 7th at a 694. Bostan a few days ago at a 697. Just a little flick to get that arrow back up on that bladed rest.
Yeah, a little loss of the tension. You can kind of see it. If you're Song Yeon-soo, there's nothing better than hearing him call 9 for her. Because you know that doesn't hurt you.
It doesn't hurt you. Yep. Still a 3-point lead.
She's just got to keep him in the gold.
2 arrows to go. Post on.
Yeah.
And out the left.
A little frustration there.
Yep. Song Yeon-soo looks so steady right now and in command of this match. Whoa!
Ooh. It was a really good-looking 8.
And the crowd knows it too. A big moan from the crowd.
Yep, and that if you're seeing Boston, you're a little upset.
Oh yeah, there you go. A 10 to finish it off. But it looks like a 9 to win and
Yellow
8
wins.
to tie. So if Song Yeon-soo does what she just did, we're going to a shoot-off.
Yeah, just don't do anything dumb. That's kind of what she's thinking to herself. Yellow's easy.
And there it is, a 10. So there's the answer. So we have our first individual world champion crown. Korean Song Yeon-soo will take victory 145 to 143 after giving the crowd a big heart thump with an 8.
Yeah, if Boston had put in a couple 10s, we'd be talking about something differently here.
Something totally different.
But if you're watching, that can happen. It can happen at any time.
Big round of applause from the crowd.
Song Yeon-soo didn't look particularly elated. I'm guessing she's kind of upset about the 8. You know,
You think that'll haunt you?
I would be too. You know what?
Just staring at that gold medal, wherever you're going to hang it, just going, man, that 8 on that second to last arrow.
Yeah, you want to win in style.
She did win in style, 145 to 143. Song Yeon-soo of Korea with a big smile now and a big sigh of relief. It's nice to see the smile on her face. And a great effort by Yasim Bostan to close that gap to be within 2. She will stand on the podium with silver. So it was pretty close. It was definitely a heart pounder. You can even see on the release hand from Bostan that tension just wasn't there.
Yeah, it's just a lack of tension, and if you don't have that strength on the back end, it's really easy to get moving in all the wrong directions on the front end.
A great look. Song Yeon-soo will take victory. So the field clears as we await the next of our shooters.
큰 시합에서 첫번 우승하는 거고 세계 선수권에서 우승하셨는데
기분이 진짜 너무 좋고요. 긴장을 좀 했었는데 다행히 잘 풀려가지고 좋은 결과가 있었던 것 같아요.
Yeah, it's my first big win, and I did get a little bit nervous, but I was able to overcome that, and I had a good result.
You shot an 8 in the last end. Did you think you were losing control of the match at that point?
마지막 판에서 8점을 쏘셨는데요. 기분이 어떠셨나요, 그때?
바람이 좀 불어서 오조준을 한다고 그쪽에 조준을 했는데 그거 덕분에 더 확신을 갖고 조준을 더 집중을 했어요.
The wind was actually blowing a little bit, so that's why I was aiming over there. But because of that, I actually got a lot more confidence, and I was able to shoot better in the end.
Okay. You leave here with 3 medals.
I think it's safe to say she got over that 8.
I think so. Yeah, congratulations to Song Yeon-soo. Compound men coming up as you take a look at the brackets and how our bronze medal match shapes up with Braden Guillotine and PJ Deloche. And for our gold medal, Stefan Hansen and Sebastien Pino. So many great stories coming up for these matches and how these archers got here, trials and tribulations in their lives. Men's compound bronze, and America will be represented by Braden Guillotine as he makes his way onto the platform to shoot here in Mexico City for the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Championships. Braden Guillotine comes in here by way of knocking off Steve Anderson, his teammate Chris Schaff, and then Stefan Hansen defeated him. You can see 9.86 points per arrow for the man from Massachusetts, Braden Guillotine. And joining him, PJ Deloche from France. He knocked off Domagoy Gudin in the quarter, and then was defeated by his teammate, Sebastien Pino. PJ Deloche has been in and out of archery here recently due to illnesses in his family. 3 different family members in the last 2 years have fallen victim to cancer, and it's been a very trying time for the Frenchman.
And cancer sucks. We've talked about it too much already today. And yeah, PJ in his first year back on the circuit after a run at the world #1 for a while. It's good to see him back. Always one of the best competitors. And we had to know he was going to be ready to go here at the World Championships.
All right, so as we get ready to shoot, PJ will start us off. And a 9 for him.
Out the left. Everybody's been going out the left. I bet Braden paid attention to that.
Now Braden
I have my doubts that he will go out the left.
If you watch the team match earlier today, Braden with a 10. If you'll notice, Braden shooting with a different bow. That's the new Matthews TRX 38. There was nothing wrong with the bow that he was shooting before, his Comp X. He just wanted to bring the 38 out. He said that he was feeling a little jittery and wanted a longer axle-to-axle bow to give him a little bit more forgiveness and easing and aiming since the team competition earlier on today.
Yeah, he didn't shoot too hot in our team round.
He certainly got it dialed in right now. So that brand new bow only introduced a couple of weeks ago from Matthews, and he got it, put it together, and it's already paying dividends for him. As now PJ with a solid 10. So now can Braden keep this going? XX so far. And he does.
Yeah.
What a group. So talking about a longer axle-to-axle, more forgiving bow, Steve, what does that really mean?
Well,
in theory.
in theory, the physics of it would say that, you know, the longer the stick, the harder it is to torque very far off its axis. In reality, it's fairly similar, but there's the other side of it where it just might fit a guy a little better. String angle is a little more gradual, brings the peep a little closer to your eye, which can be more comfortable for some people. You know, you're looking at about a 2-inch difference in axle-to-axle between the two bows. It's not huge.
But mentally, if he really thinks it's going to help him, is the biggest difference?
Yeah, if you didn't shoot well, you got another bow in the case,
you know
and
that.
you feel like it might help, yeah, just swap it out.
Yeah, worked for you.
Yep.
As you sit here with the brand new gold medal around your neck. And no, he's not actually with it around his neck. He's not that tacky.
It's in
Although I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him, Steve.
I hope it's still there.
Yeah, don't mention that out loud. PJ Deloche.
There it is.
Yep. 35 years old, world ranking right now 14th.
Yep.
Good.
Just out.
Just out.
Yep.
50 meters downrange, 55 yards is the distance between the shooting line and the target. And Braden.
Same thing, also just out.
Giving a little thinky winky. PJ with his tried and true Hoyt. Nice delivery there.
In the middle.
Getting it right on target.
Yeah, good to see PJ back. Rough couple years for him.
Rough couple of years. And there's Braden, he answers right back, so he'll hold on to that 1-point lead. Yeah, having a conversation yesterday with PJ Deloche, and he was really going in detail of what his life has been like the last couple of years. Was just, extremely interesting to listen to what he was saying. And, he wanted me to really understand, Steve, that as you look at these sporting athletes, that they're not just athletes, that life creeps in, that they're human beings as well. And that sometimes in your career, you've got to just deal with what life throws at you. And in talking to PJ about getting to this bronze medal match, I said, what does it really mean for you? And he said, to be completely honest, it's just an honor to get here. Coming back the way he has recently and having missed so many arrows, so many practice arrows, over the last, couple of years, he's surprised himself, and he's really happy being here, and his attitude about making it to the Mexico City 2017 Hyundai Archery World Championship onto this stage to shoot for bronze. He's a pretty happy guy.
See, I'm not surprised whatsoever. He was a world #1 prior to his forced sabbatical from archery.
Yep.
Not at all surprised to see him back on top, competing at a high level and making the French team. And I'm not surprised to see him here in the final. Honestly, I am a bit surprised that he didn't go all the way through. He was shooting really well, and he ran into his teammate Sebastien Pino, who was shooting equally as well. So my initial pick when I looked at the brackets was that PJ would be there in the gold final. I'll say it, the bottom half of the bracket was a little bit weaker than the top half, and it looked like a good route for him to get there. But whenever you hit a semi, you run into a good shooter and someone who's shooting good that day too.
Speaking of shooting good,
yeah, Braden's got a few X's in there.
That was his 6th X so far in this match.
Gave him a point. Yeah, and I like to say, good match is about 8 X's or better. You're getting over half of them in the X ring. There's another one. In a final, that 8 X's might be hard to come by. Just get as many 10s as you can.
Now, Braden was shooting well leading up to the match. Obviously, you guys had a shoot off. It was 149 to 149 at a possible 150. He was able to win that match literally by a millimeter. I'm sure something that's going to haunt you for a while. But and then he got Chris Schaff 148 to 147. But for Braden, Steve, when you're going into, that you're shooting for a medal match, and you got to go up against Stefan Hansen. You've been up against Stefan plenty of times.
Yeah, and Stefan was not missing much on Thursday or whatever day we did this. I think he only dropped 2 points the whole day.
The whole day.
Yeah.
And not feeling well.
Yeah, he's been a little sick, but yeah, and Braden and I, we saw that we were in the same bracket again. I mean, this is the 7th or 8th time we've shot against each other this year. And the front half of the year was my half, and the back half of the year has been his half. And that's kind of how it goes. And honestly, for me, yesterday, I realized I've got to go in, and I've been on a little bit of a plateau. I've got to find a way to improve. So, if Stefan can go out and shoot 150, and then, 149, 149, I certainly can too. So looking to figure out a way to do it, and I'm kind of excited about the idea of searching for something that helps me improve.
That's good. Well, hopefully you'll get a little bit of a break, though, a little bit of downtime as a lot of these archers look at PJ now, dropping another point.
Yeah, it's probably, Braden's not going to drop 3 more, I don't think.
Oof, little English there. He knew he was trying to get it up.
But his bad shots are going in. It's when you're feeling pretty good about your shooting.
Now that's basically when his shot breaks and the dot is just not in the exact spot he wants, right?
Yeah, you might see it falling out the bottom. So realistically, I mean, as the shot broke, he's probably still in the 10, obviously. You're not actually giving the arrow any English, but you're more thinking that. It's the subconscious work, and you're trying to work the bow back the right direction.
Another X for Braden. Good shot by PJ Deloche.
Yeah, PJ's kind of crept below the mark, and I always say, if you're going to win in a finals match, you still need a 147 or better. When you dip down into 146, it's really hard to win.
So far for Braden Guillotine, he's only dropped 1 point in 4 ends. So it's 119 to 116 as we're heading into this final 3 arrows for the bronze medal. And you talked about it, Steve. So far, Braden's sitting on 8 X's.
Yep. Yeah, he could touch 11. The record, real wild, 150 with 12.
Wow. In an individual match.
Yeah.
150 with 12 X.
My best is 150 with 10, and I'm one of a handful of people to have ever done that.
That's amazing.
And that was really, really hard to do. And you might find a guy who will hit 12, 13 X's, but they've still got to put all 150 points on the board.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes one is the harder of the two, you know?
Right. Sure.
When you get down to the end, and when Rio did it, he was thinking, make sure you get the 150, because he was over the X threshold. It was at the record was 10. When he got to 11, he just said, you know what, just make sure you shoot a 10.
Here we go. Final 3 arrows of this match. For bronze, PJ Deloche from France.
Yeah, a little bobble there. I heard his coach call out 10 seconds. Sometimes when a coach does that, it can create a little bounce in your sight picture. I personally like the coach to come in at about 6 seconds, real softly, and slowly count it down. 10 is too early, in my opinion. I don't know if that's what happened to PJ, but sometimes that's what I see.
So PJ shooting that Oit Prevail up in the 9 ring. Braden, another 9. He's kind of got that cushion right now.
I don't know what, something change out there.
I mean, we felt the gust of wind, and the windsocks continue to kind of swirl around.
Maybe honeymoon phase is over.
Maybe we spoke too soon. And a good solid 10 to end the season for PJ Deloche. A 7 to win for Braden Guillotine.
I think we'll see an X here. Yeah.
There it is.
you can tell.
You just tell with the way his attitude is. So Braden Guillotine will finish off the match, 147 points to 143. And he'll also walk away with
9 X's.
9 X's on the day. Pretty good out of 15 arrows. Am I right?
We might be, 9 X's.
9, Yep. So congratulations to the American. Obviously, he made that bow change from the team rounds to this afternoon's bronze medal match, and it paid off for him. And he will have an opportunity to stand on the podium during the ceremonies a little later on. How would you rate your teammate's performance in that one, Steve?
I'd give him 8.8.
All right, I'm going to give him a 9.2.
All right. I don't think
Is that only because of the last end? He cut,
he gave it up.
Yeah, he did.
I could see it. It's an 8.9 maybe because of the number of X's.
Yeah. Question really, I think at this point, is he going to go back and listen to this? Is he going to go back and watch it?
Yeah, he probably will. He will. He'll watch it tonight in the hotel.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we're roommates, so.
Oh.
Now, you know what? More important than a rating on a 1 to 10, he got a win. That's what you want. Doesn't matter how. Get out of there with a victory.
Yep. So now, final match of the day is looming. Right around the corner, the gold medal match in men's compound individual, as we have Stefan Hansen going up against Sebastien Pino. And already on the stage is Stefan Hansen. Steve Anderson, you're very familiar with this young man.
Yeah.
Stefan Hansen, 22 years old, ranked #1 in the world, a 9.92 arrow average for this event. What are you laughing about, buddy?
That's pretty sick.
It is pretty sick. As for this man, Sebastien Pino, he comes into this match about as happy as an archer can be, fighting off injury after turning pro. I'll tell you more about that. As Sebastien Pino, 30 years old from France, comes into this round, ranked 40th in the world with a 9.77 event average arrow. This promises to be a good match. Steve, we actually have, you know, Stefan Hansen, who spends a lot of time here in Mexico City.
Yep.
He's got a girlfriend, Aida Roman.
Yep.
So he spends time here, but he's been sick for days. Just not feeling well, fever. It started with fever, then chills, then stomach. And so he said he's got plenty of strength to shoot 15 arrows.
I wish I had fever, chills, stomach problems, and a 9.92 arrow average.
Right? I know. As for this shooter right here, Sebastien Pino.
Yeah, this one, it's choppy enough out here with the wind that I think it could be a close match. Stefan had a few issues in Berlin, but I think he's mostly got those worked out. If he gets going, and if the wind isn't too much of an issue, I think Stefan's very, very, very tough to beat. But Sebastian started with 10.
He did start with a nice 10. Oof. Yep.
All right.
See that?
Yeah.
He's going to make an adjustment to his sight.
Yeah, he didn't hate it that much. Okay.
Low one there. All right, so here's the story with Sebastien Pino. In 2016, in March, he turns pro. November, an elbow injury sidelines him until March of the next year. Until March of this year. Very trying times for him, as Stefan Hansen with a 10 to even things up. But Sebastien Pino coming back strong with an X there. Trying times for him, Steve, as he had to call up his sponsors and say, hey, I just turned pro, but I'm going to be out for months with a tendon injury in his elbow. And all of his sponsors, all the American and French sponsors he has, stood by him. And now he's back, slowly working his way back into competition over the last few months, and now finds himself in the gold medal match.
Yeah, Sebastian's found himself in a lot of gold medal matches over the years. He's a really good elimination match shooter, and you know, he had some fortune in this one. A little bit of a low score in the 124 round against Alvarado Fernandez, but did enough to get through, and then he knocked out both of his teammates and 2/3 of the Korean roster in doing so.
Finished third in Salt Lake City this year, did Sebastien Pino. Trying to get his ranking back. That's a good look at his release. That's that hinge release that we talk about.
Right, Stefan shooting one as well, it looks like.
Stefan's one of those shooters who has gone back and forth, isn't that right?
Yeah, and I've seen him go back and forth during a match.
Oh, wow, yeah. Stefan Hansen, who was saddled with the nickname Baby-Faced Assassin, decided it's time to grow a beard to get out of that. As you can see there, look at a good shot at him.
And he is the reigning world champion, winning in his home country of Denmark.
He did. Copenhagen.
He's got one out the bottom there.
That was back in 2015. Has an opportunity to be back-to-back champion. Out the top.
Right.
Let's go, Stephan. 15.
It is a bit windy out there right now. This is some tough conditions.
A lot of English, wind has really started to pick up. You don't usually see back-to-back nines from Stefan Hansen.
Oh yeah, out of the last 60 arrows, he's shot 2. And today he's got 4.
Wow.
He's got 4 and 6 arrows.
There's a lot of pressure, though. There's no question. People commenting to him. A nice 10 there. Stefan Hansen. Wow, how would it be great to be back-to-back champion, back-to-back, back-to-back, you know?
Yeah, and everyone assumes he's going to win. You know, he's been the strongest shooter in the world for the last year. And when he goes head-to-head with anybody, they assume he's going to win. There's not many people who have beat Stefan in a gold medal match.
Steve, you have. There's no question about it. Where's the last?
Only in field archery.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, not in target.
Still.
Yeah.
Field archery is one of my favorites and very underrated.
I think Mike Schlosser and Demir Achla are the only other ones.
Let's take a look at Stefan's release. That was definitely one of the better shots he has, as Sebastien Pino has a 2-point lead heading into the third end.
Yep, Sebastian is limited to damage.
Absolutely. It's only 2 9s for him, 4 for Stefan Hansen.
Yep. And if it was dead calm out here, you know, these guys might be a deadlock 60-60, but the wind picked up. I mean, it's been picking up and building through the day, and for this match especially, it seems like the wind is just a little bit stronger.
Little tweak of the stabilizer out front for Stefan Hansen. As being behind, he will start off this third end. Again, wind very strange here in Mexico City. Will pick up for a moment and then die down. One windsock doing one thing on one side of the field and another on the other.
10, 9, 8, 7. Got it.
Long hold for Stefan.
Yep.
Super, Stefan.
He's trying to be patient. Something you got to do sometimes when it's windy like this. Don't try to rush the shot. That ends up with a lot more shakes. Picks up a point on Sebastian.
Yep, you can see the English. The dot wasn't in the exact spot he wanted when the shot broke.
15.
Trying to make something happen after the arrow leaves the bow.
10.
Here goes Stefan Hansen.
He's moving his sight to the left. Again, he's got one arrow to the right of the cross of the dead center. Everything for everybody this afternoon has been going to the left.
Wow, so we're all tied up now.
Yep, even ball game.
15.
Another one to the left. I think he's afraid. He doesn't want to move his sight too much. He feels like if the wind lets up, then he's going to miss out the right.
Yep, and you saw there, he just took another click or two.
Yep. Sebastian.
So Sebastian gets another point back. So it went from 2 now down to 1 point. And we have got ourselves quite the gold medal match. Stefan Hansen, what was he doing with his release there?
Not sure.
His
Sure
post?
what, yeah,
His post maybe had been loose?
spinning something. I don't know.
Boy,
Maybe
looks
just
angry.
fidgeting with something. Yeah, he's trying to find it. You know, Seb Pinot gets in big matches and wins. He's, I think, a 2-time World Cup champion. I think Shanghai twice, and World Indoor champion at the last edition in Turkey.
That's right.
2016.
So when he brought it up to me, actually, Sebastian Pino, he's like, in this match, really, if you look at it, either one of these athletes really would double from last World Championship to this World Championship.
Yeah, very true.
It's a good way to look at it, I suppose.
Yep.
Either way, the storyline can't lose. So, in end number 1, Stefan Hansen came out with a 28 out of possible 30 points, and then did it again, where Pinot has been solid, 29, 29, then a 28. So, Stefan's last end, 29, still behind, even though he finished ahead in that particular end. Stefan will start first.
10, 9, 8, 7.
He has got to be frustrated right now. He just can't find a sight setting that he thinks is working for him. He's got to be feeling like he's breaking good shots if he's moving the sight.
Okay.
But it didn't hurt him. But he's running out of. You don't have a time here. I mean, you do have a shot clock, but there's no, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter.
Right.
I mean, you just got a number of arrows you get to work with, and he's running out.
And the only thing that's going to help Stefan Hansen right now is 10s. The only thing that's going to help him is 10s. Sigh of relief from Stefan Hansen. Pinot. Good answers.
Yeah.
Keep it within a point.
15.
22-year-old. Pinot.
Yeah, he broke it low. And
Here's
tried
the
to
thing about Stefan Hansen, Steve. We see oftentimes he shoots with a lot of English. I mean, if you get shots, especially in a 720 round, great shot from Sebastien Pinot. Look at the look of determination on his face. But with Stefan Hansen, we oftentimes see a lot of English from him, but they just find the middle.
Right.
But today, it's just not hitting for him.
It just isn't as easy in a World Championship final. You know, those shots that sometimes your best shots are just barely catching 10 in a situation like this, because you've got so much tension, so much energy running through your body. The bow's never really sitting that still. You know, and in a qualification round, you can almost get away with murder.
So here's the situation right now, Steve Anderson. Stefan Hansen is sitting at 113 points. Sebastian Pino at 115. That's 2 points difference. I'm going to harken back to a match earlier on today where there were 2 archers going for bronze medal. That it was a 2-point difference. Erik Sonicson had it by 2 points leading into the last end. And we saw her shoot 3 9s. And Christina Heigen Hauser, a perfect 30 to take the bronze.
Yeah, I'll say Stefan's got to have all 3 here. He's got to have 3 10s, or there's no situation in my mind where Sebastian gives up 3 points, allowing Stefan to give up 1 here.
This arrow probably the most critical of the match.
No doubt. Felt good about it.
He's got it. A good solid X. Now the pressure's on Pinot, even though he's 2 points ahead.
Ooh, there's one back.
There's one back.
Here we go. And you see Sebastian kind of got a little deep breath there, trying to settle down. Stefan's acting like a hunter right here.
Boom, there it is. So his second 20 and a big sigh of relief. The crowd right now can feel the tension in the air. Sebastian Pino knows what's at stake with this arrow, and he does it, he answers. So still a 1-point difference. There's only one thing Stefan Hansen can deliver. It's got to be a 10 here.
A little breeze picking up right here. He's holding a little longer. He likes
it. And he does it. He's got it. So now, as weird as it sounds, Sebastian Pino needs a 10 to win. If he shoots a 9, we're going to a 1-arrow shoot-off. The Frenchman back.
He's looking stable.
Oh, and he missed it just out the side. Incredible. The crowd going crazy here as it's tied at 143, and we're going to a 1-arrow shoot-off. Steve Anderson, did you think it was possible?
Possible, yes, but Stefan delivered the 30.
He did.
I'm going to clarify on my 147 comment earlier, where 147 is the magic number. It kind of goes away in a gold medal final, and it definitely goes away when it's windy.
Yeah.
You're shooting one at a time, trying to match or better the other guy.
Yeah.
And here at 143, not the score you might expect from both of them, but it's pretty choppy down there. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
All right, let's talk about momentum here, Steve, as we look at the release of Stefan Hansen. 9-10-9 for Sebastian Pinot, X10-10 for Stefan Hansen. My view, Hansen has the momentum right now.
Yeah, he found a sight setting. He was up high on the 10 ring. I bet he's going to take 1 or 2 clicks off of what he had just to try to get that sight a little better for if he breaks the perfect shot. You know,
I don't know if I would take that chance.
I think, yeah, I would.
You know,
I mean, you're out here to make your one perfect shot. The last thing you want to do is make the perfect shot, broke perfectly in the center, and have it end up high. Yeah, obviously the momentum swings to him, and having just put 3 10s on the board, and the other guy barely catch, 28.
So the final match of the day here on Compound Saturday at the Mexico City 2017 Hyundai Archery World Championships. And we find ourselves in the individual gold medal match between Stefan Hansen from Denmark, Sebastien Pino from France. They have just tied in an unlikely 2-point advantage going into the final end. Stefan Hansen delivered a perfect 30 to Sebastien Pinot's 28. Our situation now is we put new target faces on so we can see it as cleanly as possible as they're going to calibrate with Falco Eye.
I'm nervous for him, I think.
You know, who's not right now? If you're sitting at home and you're as calm as you could be, so much on the line, the title of world champion for the next 2 years, resting in the balance right now, Frenchman Sebastien Pino.
He's not looking super comfortable right
He doesn't, and it's deep breath. He's got to shoot first. Would you rather shoot first in this situation or second?
That's a toss-up. I think in this situation, I'd rather shoot second. If a guy shoots a big 9, it kind of settles you down. You know you only need a 10. You don't need that perfect dead center X. Stefan often picks second. We'll see what happens.
Wow.
Good 10.
A good, solid 10.
But very beatable.
Closest to the center wins it.
Femden.
Wind right now.
Yeah, wind laid down for him.
Pretty calm.
Oh, Sebastien.
It's going to be millimeters, and Sebastien Pino will be your 2017 Hyundai World Archery Champion. Wow.
Wow.
What a match in an end that he almost gave it away to tie it. He'll get closest to the center. Both shot 10s, but Sebastian's just a little closer.
Yeah.
And there it is right there. Congratulations to Sebastien Pino from France.
A centimeter difference, essentially.
A centimeter difference. The man who came here qualified 15th with a 7:04. And when I talked to him and said, did you think you would make it to the gold medal match on a 7:04? He said, no way. And he certainly did it, knocking off some great shooters along the way. And he is back on top. As heart rates start to settle down here in Mexico City, the perfect way to end Compound Saturday for a gold medal individual championship. It comes down to a one-arrow shoot-off. And as close as you like it. Wow, a big sigh of relief for Sebastien Pino. He cannot believe what he just accomplished, and that's archery though, Steve. I mean, it's archery. If you get to this point and you line up on the line, anything can happen.
Yeah, it's 15 arrows. You don't know who's going to have it that day and who's not. You know, if we were to go and shoot this match immediately following their semifinal matches, it wouldn't have been close.
Yeah.
You know, Stefan was shooting so much better than everybody else that day. But we take a couple days break, we set up a big stage, we make a big deal out of it, because it should be, and we make them earn it. And Sebastien is a world champion again.
Congratulations to Sebastien Pino. What a way to come back from injury and taking the risk of turning full-time professional shooter back in March of 2016 is starting to pay off.
Seb, you are world archery champion. Say those words and tell me how it feels.
I just don't have words for the moment. I just can't believe it. From November to March, I wasn't able to shoot because of an injury in my elbow, and I came back in March shooting like 50 arrows per day. So it was a really slow restart, and it was difficult for the World Cup in Antalya and Salt Lake and also Berlin. And I work really hard to come back here and first being selected for, because the trials was really hard, and then everything goes great at the right moment. And during the final, it was really difficult. That feeling on being only alone with the coach on the line. It was more than 1 year ago, and it was in indoor, so it's quite different. And yeah, it's amazing. World champion indoor, world champion outdoor. Yeah, that's a great achievement.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Outstanding work by Sebastien Pino to be crowned world champion here in Mexico City 2017 Hyundai Archery World Championships. Well, it's been a fantastic day of archery. As in the morning we saw the team bronze and gold medal matches, and this afternoon mixed teams and men and women individual medals. And now it's time for our podium ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the compound mixed team.
Señoras y señores, la ceremonia de premiación para equipos Lisa, Couples.
Medals will be presented by World Archery First Vice President.
Las medallas serán entregadas por el primer vicepresidente de World Archery.
Mario Scarcella. Gifts will be presented by Organizing Committee International Relations Director.
Los presentes serán entregados por el director de Relaciones Internacionales del Comité Organizador.
Arnaud Brigard. Bronze medal, representing Italy.
Medalla de bronce, representando a Italia.
Braden Guillotine. Sergio Panyee. Silver medal, representing Germany.
Medalla de plata, representando a Alemania.
Christina Hauser. Hauser. Gold medal, representing Republic of Korea.
Y la medalla de oro, representando a República de Corea.
Jong-Ho. Jong-Ho. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of the Republic of Korea.
And now the national anthem for the Republic of Korea.
Nacional de la República de Corea.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our medalists.
Señoras y señores, por favor, demos un aplauso a nuestros medallistas.
So the award ceremony for mixed team, with Korea holding on to that #1 spot. As we clear the field, next up should be compound women.
ceremony for the compound women.
Señoras y señores, la ceremonia de premiación para compuesto femenino.
Medals and a Longines watch will be presented by Ambassador of Turkey in Mexico.
Las medallas y el reloj Longines serán entregados por el embajador de Turquía en México.
Timur Sürünes. Gifts will be presented by Mexican Olympic Committee First Vice President.
Los presentes serán entregados por la primera vicepresidenta del Comité Olímpico Mexicano.
Jimena Saldaña. Bronze medal representing Germany.
Medalla de bronce representando Alemania.
Christina Hauser. Silver medal representing Turkey.
Medalla de plata representando a Turquía.
Yesin Bostan. Gold medal and world champion representing Republic of Korea.
El campeón del mundo representando a República de Corea.
Song Yeon-soo.
So congratulations to 21-year-old Song Yeon-soo, who will be crowned world champion for the next 2 years. And now, the national anthem of the Republic of Korea.
Señoras y señores, por favor, pónganse de pie para escuchar el himno nacional de la República de Corea. Señoras y señores, la segunda interpretación del compuesto masculino.
Men's individual compound coming to the stage now for the podium. Braden Guillotine with the bronze, Stefan Hansen the silver, and Sebastien Pino the gold.
Gifts will be presented by Mexican Olympic Committee First Vice President.
Los presentes serán entregados por la primera vicepresidenta del Comité Olímpico Mexicano.
Jimena Saldaña. Bronze medal, representing the United States of America.
Medalla de bronce, representando a Estados Unidos y América.
Braden Guillotine. Silver medal, representing Denmark.
Medalla de plata, representando a Dinamarca.
Stefan Hansen. Gold medal and world champion representing France.
Y medalla de oro y campeón del mundo, representando a Francia.
Sebastien Pino.
Congratulations to Sebastian Pino as we get ready to hear the national anthem of France.
Please stand for the national anthem of France.
Señoras y señores, por favor pónganse de pie para escuchar el himno nacional de Francia.
Well, awards ceremonies concluded here at the Mexico City 2017 Hyundai Archery World Championships. Well, that'll do it for us today as the crowd still enjoying the great weather here in Mexico City. at the Zocalo.